Good evening, everybody. I'm Pierre Roberge, the Daily Trader. Let's look at why Tesla is again a risky stock. We closed down $6.36. That's 2.38%. Closed at 261.07. Post-market, we seem to be up a little bit. We have a hard time staying above 265.32 for a decent amount of time. For the past 2 days, we have been able to stay above it. And we also were able to stay above it on July 24th. And yesterday we had this break of downward resistance, downward seller resistance. The sellers were winning, and then they stopped winning yesterday. But this did not continue too much because right now we are back into this downward resistance, downward seller resistance. So the sellers are just back in. Are we surprised? We cannot really say that we are surprised. When we have stochastic below 60, this is what happens. The stock is not reliable. If we have a little bit of a move up, it's harder to trust that move up. And we have the perfect example today right here. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart to understand a little bit better. We see here we have a little bit more resolution looking at the 1 hour chart. But sometimes looking at it can confuse us because it's too much detail. But in this case, I think it makes sense. We have some seller resistance at 270.37. 270.37. Let's go back on the daily chart. This is why this has not gone higher yesterday. Yes, stochastic was not above 60. That did not help. But we have a hidden, I'm going to put it on the daily chart. So we have this horizontal resistance at 270.37. This is pretty clear to see right here. So if we go back on the daily chart, we are zigzagging a little bit too much on 265.32. When this happens, we need to choose a higher resistance. And this one at 270.37 fits the bill perfectly. It fits perfectly on the 1 hour chart. It fits quite well also here. If you look at this here, it fits pretty well. Let's hope that stochastic is also going to go back up a little bit. And then let's not forget, and this is why Tesla is still risky, is that we are still into this big downward channel. I'm going to see it until we break above it. We have not broken above it since the earnings call. And as someone mentioned in the comments, Elon said that Q3 is going to be a little bit tougher than Q2. This is not boding well for the future. But we are not going to rely on the news or on the opinions of people. We are going to rely on the stock chart, and the stock chart is going to speak to us. And if we listen, we are going to be successful. Let's take a look at some Tesla news. So Tesla plans 9 electric semi-truck charging stations between California and Texas. And this is the route where the semi-truck chargers are going to be. This comes through a request for $97 million in federal funding to help build what will be the first network of electric truck charging stations in the US. Tesla would contribute $24 million to the project. This is absolutely fantastic. Tesla was a pioneer with its superchargers. It owns its superchargers, and now it's going to own those mega chargers. This is fantastic. There's also a report that Tesla is under investigation by NHTSA over 12 reports that Model 3 and Y are losing steering control. So the Office of Defects Investigation is opening a preliminary evaluation on 2023 model year for the Tesla 3 and Y vehicles due to reports of inability to steer the vehicle and the loss of power steering. So they have received 12 complaints alleging loss of steering control and power steering in 2023, blah, blah, blah. 5 reports indicate an inability to steer the vehicle. 7 additional reports cite loss of power steering, resulting in increased effort to control the vehicle. So let's hope that this is not too much, because the scope of the investigation is 280,000 Model 3 and Ys. This problem does not look like it's going to be fixed with these software updates. This could get a little bit costly for Tesla. Tesla and other automakers are in talks with Exxon to secure lithium. So they are in talks with ExxonMobil. So ExxonMobil is in talks with Tesla, Ford, Volkswagen, and other automakers about supplying them with lithium as the oil giant works to build a business around electric vehicle battery components, according to people familiar with the matter, they better start doing something around EVs. Absolutely. Let's take a look at the VIX. So VIX is starting to go a little bit higher. So we are up 0.32. That's 2.35%, closed at 1394. We are seeing here that we are making higher lows and higher lows. So yes, we broke 1409 during the day, but came back in. But this is a small trend. There's a small trend right here. Let's see if 1408 is going to stop that trend. If we start to go higher and higher, the stock market is going to take a hit. Rivian is down 34 cents, 1.23%, closed at 27.30. So we are maintaining, we are still above 26.91. So that's good. This is good. We cannot complain. This is not the best day. I'm going to be honest. This is not the best day. We have the earnings call that is going to happen next Tuesday. So this is a week away. So we'll see how the stock reacts. But technically, we are still above 26.91. You should have a stop loss if we start closing below that, just in case that it reverses on you. Xpeng, we are down 87 cents, 4.16%, closed at 20.05. This is my line for Xpeng. We had a nice run right here. If it goes lower than 1985, I'm going to get out of it with just a little bit of profit. That's fine. It's going to stabilize and maybe start to go again a little bit later. NEO is also pausing a little bit. So we are down 67 cents, 4.38%, close at 14.63. Again, this is where I have my stop loss just a little bit below 14.62 to keep the profit I got. We still have a good stochastic. Even if we break my stop loss, there is still chance that we stabilize a little bit lower and then start to go higher a little bit later on. Palantir is doing not too bad. We are up 15 cents, 0.76%, closed at 19.99. So we are maintaining ourselves. This is the second day we are above 19 bucks. So we have buyer support right there above 19 bucks. Let's see until where it goes. We have an earnings call next Monday. So things might be iffy a little bit until then. We have the RSI that's in the overbought position. The current move that we are in is really a strong move. Nvidia down $2.22, 0.48%, closed at 465.07. So we are still into our bullish channel. And now we can do this little bit of a downward resistance. This is what Nvidia is doing right now. We have some seller resistance within our bullish channel, pretty much like we had right here. We had exactly the same thing here. And then it started and it shot up. This is the same concept. We need to bounce on this line right here. And once we are breaking this downward resistance, because we have a good stochastic, we should be expecting the same shooting that could lead us close to 500 bucks. So that would be a really nice swing to take. We are down 29 cents, 0.38%, closed at 75.53. It's still above its buyer support at 75.11. We have broken through it today, but when we have a long wick like this at the bottom of a candle, this is effectively telling us that we went lower and then we're pushed back up somewhat. Yes, it's still a red day, but I like to see these nice long wicks at the bottom of the candles. Let's take a look at our indices quickly. So QQQ, it's just going sideways. Dow Jones, 0.2%. S&P 500, minus 0.27%, but basically going sideways. NASDAQ, 0.43% down. Let's look at gold. So gold is really dropping. Remember this? 1541 was very important. We broke it one day, a second day, and then we did not break it again. And we have lost stochastic over 60. This one is going to take a longer while until it recovers. Silver, we are down 1.78%. So silver is basically, as I said yesterday, into this downward seller resistance. It's still into a bullish channel. The bullish channel is still intact. It's still intact, but as with all bullish channels, the stock can still zigzag a lot within it. So right now, this is looking like Nvidia. We are into a downward resistance. Let it go down, hope that it bounces, and when it breaks this, we can hop on for another swing. Bitcoin, not too strong, pretty much even Steven, but look at the wick here. The wick came lower and we're pushed back up. We have people that are buying into this at around 28,817. That's the good news. It's not coming down. It's going sideways. This is not coming down anymore. This is going sideways. So that's the good news that we have with this. But in terms of a move up, we need to have a good stochastic. We need to break at least 29,838. I don't know when this is going to happen. Ripple went and touched 66,833. So we are up 0.27%. Still pausing after this big news, after winning the case against the SEC. So it's stabilizing and people don't know what they should do with it. The sellers are not really selling. The buyers are not really buying. This is just going sideways. People are waiting to see what kind of news could justify their buying or selling decision. USDX. What can I say? This is strong. We have not closed above our downward resistance. We broke it during the day, came back down. This is not a break. This is not a break. This downward resistance is still acting on this currency. We now have stochastic over 60. So if we have a break of this downward resistance with also stochastic over 60, so that's 2 out of 3 of our criteria. And the third criteria would be to break a horizontal resistance. And I think that the next one is just right here, which is already broken. So if we break our downward resistance, as I said, this one right here, then because of all of this, we could be going somewhere. NB, we are up 0.005 cents. We don't have stochastic over 60 yet, but I commend its ability to just go sideways. At least it's not coming down, but nothing is going to happen really before we break 40.5 cents. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like what I do, you can become a YouTube member. Click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great evening. We are going to talk tomorrow and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.